In 6 short years, between 1939 to 1945, over 15 million soldiers died between the ages of 16 and 60. 25 million more from over 70 different countries were injured, and over 45 million innocent men, women, and children lost their lives. World War II was the largest and most violent military conflict in human history. This war was fought in Asia, Africa, Europe, and the high seas. It is undeniable that World War II changed the world. The devastation was so vast, the sacrifice so personal, that every person in the world was affected and still is connected to it. World War II began on September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. But 2 years before, in July 1937, Japan invaded North China, seeking raw materials to fuel its growing industries. As Japanese aggression continued to spread throughout Indochina, the United States placed an embargo on metal, oil, aviation fuel, froze Japanese assets in the U.S., and demanded Japanese withdrawal. Having lost 94% of oil supply, Japan prepared to take oil by force. And in January 1941, Japanese Admiral Yamamoto began planning a possible attack. By November 1941, Japanese diplomats sought an agreement with Washington, but by November 16th, Japanese submarines left Japan and were followed by the aircraft carriers and the Japanese Imperial Navy. On the night of December 6th, U.S. intelligence decoded messages of possible Japanese military actions on Sunday morning of December 7th, but disregarded the information. 6 Japanese aircraft carriers holding 414 planes traveled 3,500 miles in strict radio silence. At 6:10 a.m. on Sunday, December 7th, the first wave of 183 Japanese planes traveled 275 miles to the Hawaiian island of Oahu. An hour later, a second wave of 171 Japanese aircraft followed. Around 7:30 a.m., the Japanese airplanes assumed their attack positions, and at 7:49, the Japanese first wave's mission was to eliminate any American aircraft in the sky or land. In a series of coordinated attacks, the Japanese attacked airbases across Oahu, starting with Wheeler Field, Hickam Field, Bellows, and Eva. Marine Corps Air Station Eva was located 7 miles west of Pearl Harbor. The air station had 4 runways and numerous hangars, and 48 airplanes parked wingtip to wingtip. On their first strike at Eva Field, Japanese planes approached as low as 20 feet above the tarmac and destroyed the 48 planes. The second wave of Japanese planes focused on bombing and strafing the buildings and the nearby sugarcane plantation village. 500 yards away from the Eva airfield, Clara Saito, my great-grandmother, was a 10-year-old girl attending the Eva Hongwanji Mission Sunday School.
December 7th we were going to church. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we heard a big explosion. And we didn't know what it was, so we went up the hill to see where it was coming from. And we looked down, and near Pearl Harbor, all the ships were being bombed, and we could see them, the fire and everything. And we see the Japanese plane flying over, and they even flew over us too. But you know, it's one thing during the attack, Pearl Harbor, the Japanese plane flew over us. They didn't shoot at us or anything. They just flew. And then they threw papers, like saying, hide, just, this is. So in a way, we were lucky. All the bombing and all the terrible, all the ships being bombed, but we don't know it was war, because we saw the plane flying over, but it was now when I think about it, sad. But my auntie house, I was standing by the wall and the bullet went right behind my back. I could have been killed by there, but I was very lucky. I was just standing against the wall and then the bullet went right through my back and it didn't hit me. Isn't that something? But what I can understand is how there were so many airplanes. How come they didn't detect that they're coming in? It was so easy for them to just come in and go back. Yeah, that was terrible. So I'm glad it's over.
The entire attack of Pearl Harbor took only 1 hour and 15 minutes. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida sent the code message, Tora, 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 indicating to the Japanese that the Americans were caught by surprise at 7:55. At 8:01, a torpedo struck the USS Utah, and the battleship capsized within minutes. The USS Oklahoma capsized at 8:08. At 8:10, USS Arizona was hit and exploded, killing 1,177 men. At 8:30, the USS Zane spotted a Japanese submarine and it was rammed and sunk. The first attack wave of Japanese planes ended at 8:45, but was followed at 8:50 by a second wave of Japanese planes. These planes were met with heavy anti-aircraft fire from the naval dry docks. At 9:10, the USS Nevada was run aground to avoid blocking the channel, and at 9:30, the USS Shaw explodes in dry lock. The Japanese bombers and fighters returned to their carriers at 10. The attack killed 2,403 U.S. personnel, including 68 civilians, and destroyed or damaged 19 U.S. Navy ships, including 8 battleships. 328 aircraft were damaged or destroyed. Fortunately, the 3 aircraft carriers of the U.S. Pacific Fleet were out sea on maneuvers, and the Japanese were unable to locate them and were forced to return home with the U.S. carrier fleet intact. This attack affected not only nations, but individual lives, and even the life of a 10-year-old girl on a Hawaiian sugarcane plantation changed drastically.
We couldn't go out in the evening, and we have to be in the house about 7 o'clock. And I didn't like it because we have to carry gas masks to school. And they're very heavy, you know. We have to wear that to school, so I didn't like that, yeah. The Filipinos, they didn't like us. They always used to call us Jap. You Japs, you Jap. They used to throw rocks at us and everything. Instead of taking us to the camp, German camp, half of them moved to another camp, and servicemen moved in. They were watching over us. I didn't know that, but now when I think about it, that's why they did that. They were watching us, yeah. And we were rationed, no meat or anything. So the servicemen would give us some fresh meat and everything. They were very nice to us, yeah. But after that, no, we couldn't go to church anymore because they burned the church, and then they took the minister away, the Buddhist priest away. So, and we were learning Japanese too at that time. After that, we never went to Japanese school. Okay, my name is Clara Saito, and I'm 92 years old, and I saw what happened in Pearl Harbor.
The short but brutal surprise attack awoke a sleeping giant, and on December 8, 1941, President Franklin D. Roosevelt spoke to Congress and the people of the United States. This was a call to arms and marked the entrance of the United States of America into World War II.
Yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7, 1941, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.